Hello and welcome to another virtual sewing room in conversation with. And today I'm joined by,
Angelika, as in made by Angelika on Instagram.
and we are not working on anything today. We're sat drinking tea together and having a good old chat. Hey, so I'm Molly. Um, so Angelika, you are not from the UK. Whereabouts in the world are you?
I am in Stockholm, Sweden, and I there are a couple of Swedes more than me,
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
than me in the virtual room, which makes me really happy.
Hmm.
Um, oh, I heard Moss.
Yeah, yeah. That might be the postman. We're going to ignore Moss. I don't think there's anything exciting arriving. Do you remember your first session of virtual sewing room or how you found out about it?
I definitely found out on Instagram, um, but I'm not sure I remember the first session. I was probably really nervous. Maybe I blocked it out. I'm sure I introduced myself, but I don't think I talked a lot.
Mhm.
But I was very happy that I found it. I did look for something. I was looking for something just like that. And I couldn't find a Swedish one. This is like the first one that popped up that sounded like exactly the kind of thing that I wanted. So yeah, I jumped on it.
Is there a Swedish one now? Is
Not that I know of, not like this.
Mm.
Um, I would really love there to be more, not just virtual, but like in person as well. And I mean, I'm sure there are ones. It's not like I know everything, but the only ones that I've seen are sort of like, come bring your own mattress and sleep on the floor. And it's just like I'm too old for that. Like I want to stay in a hotel. I
Yeah,
don't want to do that. So I'm sure there are like socials, but none that I've been really interested in.
yeah, that was one of my questions, how much kind of in-person stuff there is. But I know you did meet up with Anna, who comes to
Yeah,
the sewing room. Tell us about that.
exactly. Well, she took a class in was maybe pattern making. Maybe she had more than one class. And there was a group of people that she really gelled with. So they decided to like set up their own. And the person who was the instructor for that, she joined as well. Not like as a paid instructor, just like socially. And I think I'd sort of more or less complained to her that I didn't know of any like in-person socials. So she invited me along. So I was one of the outsiders. I think there was one or two more who wasn't like who didn't take the class, who were just like friends of the people in the group. And we were at this little hotel in the middle of sort of nowhere in the
Mhm.
west part of the country. And one of the people in the group had worked at that hotel. So we had a lot of perks, like we could keep the room for as late as we wanted. We didn't need to like check out early on the Sundays. And, like we had great fika. Do you know that word?
I think so.
Like just like coffee,
No.
basically.
Oh, yes. I think it
I
was
think
one
tea
of
and
the.
cake is your equivalent.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. And when I met Anna for the first time, we met on the Friday and had dinner. It was like we'd known each other for a really long time. It was really cool. When you have something in common that you know that you can talk about,
Mhm.
it's so much easier to sort of start a conversation and keep it going. So yeah, that was great. Very grateful to have met Anna.
Oh, mate. Have you got plans to meet up again?
Um, when we were there, we talked about, when are we gonna do this the next time? Because everybody had such a good time. But I mean, it does take a lot of organizing, and there's not like one person who's like a leader of the group. There's nobody's making any money out of it, so it needs to. I think someone needs to like get it started, sort of. I hope it'll happen again. We'll see.
So nice. When I was in Australia, so I met up with Layla, and it was just, I mean, we met at a sewing shop, a fabric shop, and but we talked all day. There was no awkwardness. And she's only been to a handful of sessions where she's based in Perth, but yeah, we chatted all day. We talked about family, we talked about so much stuff other than just sewing and fabric, but having that kind of core kind of interest, you
Yeah.
can always go back to that. And we sat in a cafe. We're having lunch. and there's just people walking past, and it's like, oh, I like that pattern. I'm like, oh, it's a bit like this, and it's a bit like that, and like just spotting people, like, oh, I really want to touch the lady next to me because she's wearing double gauze, and it's a beautiful blue color, and it's like, oh, don't. Um, so it was nice to have that value. So, and yeah, it always feels a bit weird meeting people in person, but when you just know them from the internet. But we've been
Yeah.
doing that for 20 plus years now. But um, yeah, it feels safe in our community, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you feel like everybody wants you to do well.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel very welcome and I, want to welcome anybody else.
So have you got any projects that you're super proud of that you've been working on?
Um, well, the thing that I wear the most, and I think probably I'm most proud of, is my puffer coat. Like
I,
the
I,
pink flowery puffer coat.
I thought it
With the
might be.
matching one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matching one for Elsie. I get a lot of compliments and comments about it, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's my proudest one.
So it was it the waffle pattern
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
used?
Waffle pan what was it called? It was something I always think about Mitsubishi, the car when I think it was it's something starts with an M
Because
and
it
then the sorry. Then the fabric was from Fabric Godmother that I got. I bought it with the what's it called? The thing that I won in the raffle?
oh, you won like the voucher.
The
So,
voucher. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I used that and then that paid for the shipping.
Oh,
That
so
was good because it's so expensive for us to buy fabric in the UK, unfortunately, because you have so much beautiful stuff.
yeah.
But
I
it's
mean,
just
it's a blessing and a curse.
yeah. So this was a treat. I got this for myself for, let's say it was my birthday present.
So glad because it's just I was even talking to Layla about it in Perth about that coat. I can't remember why, but because it's got lots of pocket options. Because I don't think I knew the brand, the waffle patterns, until you were making the coat. And
Yeah,
it's
and I got it from Eleanor,
yes, that's
the
right.
big enabler in the group.
Enabler, yeah,
She told me about it. I think she sent me a link to this jacket or maybe another one because she has lots of jacket patterns. She also has like a work trouser pattern that I was gonna do and that I've stolen some ideas from this other project that started as a failure. Did you see that? My blue corduroy
yeah, I did, yeah,
disaster when I cut the fabric with a nap, like
oh,
going this
yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah. And then
trouser legs. I've made 6 corduroy pants before that. And I've never done anything like that. It was just so stupid. And this was really expensive fabric and it was so nice. So I think I posted it on Instagram just because I feel like someone's gonna make me feel better. If I post this and tell people that I've had this disaster, someone's gonna make me feel better. And lots of people did. And especially Anna, who encouraged me to like just do something else. Just make up make a bag, just do something else. And I was thinking about these work pants. Well, I think gardening pants for me, for carpentry and woodworking and like gardening. So I thought, well, if I put lots of pockets on them in different colors and different styles, then, the different colors of the fabric won't be as visible.
mhm, yeah,
So
distract.
I turned them into that. And then I stole a few ideas from the worker prints pattern that she has. Not sure what her name is. I think she's Japanese. The waffle
I think
pattern.
yeah, so she writes the patterns in Japanese and English,
Hmm.
but I
You
can't.
wouldn't do that if you're not Japanese, would you? So let's say she is.
I think that's a thing I think I've encouraged with a few people when things don't work out quite right is just wear it on the house. Like I've got some Pietra pants that I think maybe the first ones and they're a bit too big. So I can't be bothered to adjust them. They're just like house pajamas. Like I just
Yeah.
especially in summer because they'll be very really breezy by then and yeah, they just get worn around the house. I can't wear them out. It's a bit too undignified because they're a little bit too short as well. So, yeah. The house trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I did need that push for someone to tell me, like, do something else because I was just depressed
Mm.
about having made such a
Oh,
stupid mistake.
it's so easy, especially, yeah, not just the value of the fabric, no, it's nice fabric and you've
Yeah.
done it before. It's just the kicker.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, it turned out to be a success in the end.
Yes, well done. Um, have you got anything else in the naughty corner at the moment?
Um, I just
Oh,
finished.
I was gonna say,
What?
well, you don't want to talk about it.
No, that's fine. I have no secrets when it comes to sewing. No, but I actually did finish a pair of well, slacks, I guess, yesterday that are going in the trash
Oh no.
right away. I got this fabric it's polyester. So I mean I should have known better. But it was so soft and I loved the color of it. So it's like, how bad can it really be? Oh my God, like they cling to me in such an unattractive way. So I'm not even gonna wear them around the house. And when I took them off in the evening, there was like a fireworks. It was like just sparks everywhere. They were absolutely awful. So yeah, they're
Mm.
going in the bin. But other than that, I don't usually have like unfinished projects. Um, I can't stand not finishing something. And I can finish it by just completely abandoning it. If I feel like this isn't working, just throw it away. But
Mm.
I never put it in like a I don't have a naughty corner. I don't have the space for a naughty corner. Um,
You're
so
very
yeah,
rare.
when people talking about their whips or their UFOs, I don't have any of those. Not yet, anyway.
No, that's a good way to be, I think.
It's not a choice. Like I can't
Yeah,
stand having things unfinished. So it's just I have to finish. Even if finishing means just completely throwing it away. That's also a way
it
to
needs to be
finish.
just done with. Yeah,
It's done. Like I'm
yeah.
not working on this anymore.
Very rare, but it's a good way to be, I think. Yeah. Are there any great tips or advice that you've learned either through Virtual Sewing Room or other sewists on your sewing journey?
I mean, yes, but to think of a specific one off the top of my head,
Yeah, it's putting
I'm
you
sure a lot of people say this, but just like don't be afraid to make something to make mistakes, I guess.
on.
Make something that just I've made loads of things that doesn't fit me. And I either give it away, give it to charity, or I sell it, or it'll find a new home. So if you're a beginner, not everything you do is gonna fit. That's just the way it is. It would be a miracle. I mean, unless you're like completely a model size person, but I don't think that many people are. Um, yeah, I think that just sew because that's the way you learn.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah.
When did your sewing journey begin?
2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually looked because I'm slightly dyslexic when it comes to like figuring out how long ago things are. So I actually looked at my Instagram. My private one was where I posted my first picture of something I made. I think it was for Me Made May, and that was in 2023. But I read the caption. It said that I made my first garment, blah blah, in November of last year. So that means 2022. So that means 2.5 years ago, I started. So I'm not a pandemic sewer. I was a pandemic knitter and crocheter. That's when I started knitting and crocheting. Um,
Is that what led you into sewing?
yeah, I think so because I made a lot of garments, but I felt very, very sort of restricted in what I could do. I mean, it's mostly cardigans. I mean, that's or scarves, and I don't need more scarves. Um, so and my mom was very encouraging. Like you can sew. it's like you can do this. It's not, what are you afraid of? Just do it. I was like, no, it's sort of scary and like the loud machine and blah, blah. I don't know why I was so scared. And then it started when I wanted to make underwear actually for myself because I'd bought these really great pair of wait, you say pants, don't you?
Pants, knickers, underwear.
Knickers. Yeah. And I really loved them. And I knew that the person who made them also sold the pattern for them. So I was like, okay, because they're quite expensive to buy. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just make my own. And then my mom said, well, if you're going to do something for the first time, you probably shouldn't do like a stretch material because that's more difficult. She said, note, she sews on an old fuff from probably the 1800s, like at least 100 years old. So I'm sure it is difficult for her.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, so I said, okay, well, I guess I'll have to find another project to be my first project then. So that's when I went to well, our equivalent of the Stitch Festival, I guess. And I got a fabric and I got a pattern for a pair of elasticated pants that says easy on it. So I was like, okay, this should be easy. So I made those and they were quite easy. I mean, it was difficult at first to get started, but I thought, okay, well, if I can do this, I can do other stuff as well. And when you're a beginner, you don't really know what's supposed to be difficult.
Mm.
So I made jeans quite early. Things that some people say is more difficult, you know. I also made my first coat when I'd only been sewing for a year. It was a slight disaster in the end, but I mean, I still wear it. But that's how I started. And I think once I find a new hobby, I do it a lot.
Hmm.
I don't have children. I don't really watch TV, so I have a lot of time to just do my hobbies. So yeah, even though I've only been doing it for 2.5 years, I mean, I almost have like a full closet of
That's
stuff that I made.
amazing. But did you get around to making those pants?
Yes,
Good.
yes. And I've now made several pairs.
I was going to say, is it your go-to pattern?
Yes,
Oh, good.
definitely. It's
Amazing.
called the person who makes them is called Annafina, and I think she calls herself Annafina on Instagram, and that's the name of the pattern as well. Annafina trosan, which means Annafina knickers, basically. Something like that.
I'll
Yeah.
pop a link for them below so everyone can make pants that
Yeah.
match.
I love those.
So you haven't always been creative then?
Um, well, I've always liked making things, building things. I think if you asked my mother, maybe she would say that I've always been sort of crafty, but I don't really think of it like that. I'm not artistic.
Hmm.
Like I can't come up with a design, but I can arrange things. I can put things together so they look good.
Hmm.
As in, I feel, I mean, for my aesthetic, I feel like I can put together like a fabric and a pattern and make it into something that looks good. And but I can't like come up with my own designs.
Mm.
So I'm not artistic in that way. But I always liked building things, even when I was a child. I remember the first thing that I think I built, me and my friend built this little oh, what do you call that in English? Like a little car for a kid. No engine, obviously, just the thing
Mm.
that you push. Is there a
Yeah,
word for that?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
I
I'll see if I can find a translation for it.
mhm.
But that was one thing that we built. It had a roof and everything, and I pushed my friend around in the neighborhood. So I always built things. And I do now as well. I've made some furniture and stuff.
You've made furniture. Oh, because you
Yeah,
mentioned woodwork.
yeah, I've made a couple of things. I
Tell
can send
us.
you pictures if you want.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put pictures up. What kind of things have you made?
Well, I've made the shelf thing that we have in the hallway. I made our like the spice rack that goes above the um stove
Mhm.
that goes on the wall between the shelves. And I've made a lot of stuff for outside, just like things to put flowers in and stuff like that. Um, yeah.
Oh.
So I don't really like making small fiddly things. I like to build like,
Mhm.
functional things. So again, it's not for decoration. It's always like, I need this, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah,
It's more like that.
that's
So,
pretty cool and
I need a
handy.
cardigan, I'm gonna knit one. Or we need shelves, I'm gonna build some.
Is your husband handy with
Yeah,
woodworking stuff as
yeah.
well?
Before I started sewing, he was the one who was using the sewing machine the most.
Oh,
Not
really?
making clothes, he made stuff for uh he likes to go camping and hiking and stuff, so he makes like these drawstring bags for all his stuff.
Yeah,
Whatever you bring for camping. I'm not a camper.
yeah, camping stuff.
Yeah, and he builds stuff as well if something's needed. And
Oh,
he's more artistic than I am. He makes these fishing lures. They're just like little pieces of art. He's really talented. Like,
amazing.
yeah.
What a household.
Yeah. Yeah. We we do have like we each have a room where we need like we keep all our supplies.
Hmm.
And we have a tiny, tiny, tiny house. So there's stuff everywhere. We're maximalists, we're not minimalists. House.
I think we're quite minimalist where we're now moving, well, gonna be moving. We tidied the house for viewings and stuff. And yeah, it's amazing how much stuff we don't really have actually. Like, I mean, we still had to cram things in cupboards, but compared to, some friends we know, we don't have too much stuff because I'm just quite good at, nope, don't need it, get rid of it, charity shop, whatever.
Mm.
Um, yeah, just,
Oh, our house is cluttered.
yeah. I mean, behind me doesn't really show an example, but that has been gone through once or twice in the last year. That's minimal amount of stuff, but half of it's sewing, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to part with that.
Well, this room is since we have a tiny house, there are very few rooms. This is the library, my office, my sewing space, the guest room, and some storage. And his room downstairs is his office, his atelier for making his fishing lures, the gym, the PlayStation room. So
Wow.
there's a lot of, I mean, all of our rooms need to be like multifunctional, definitely.
Having your workspace and sewing space in the same, do you find it hard to kind of take your work hat off, as it were, and then go into sewing mode to kind of relax, or
No, not really.
do you just get on
Yeah,
with
yeah, not a problem at all.
it? Oh,
No,
fair.
I mean, I use the same laptop for like having my patterns and for work, and I just put it to one side, put the sewing machine in the center of the desk again, and then start sewing. So, no.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know I
I've
struggle
been
with.
working from, sorry, didn't mean
I
to
know,
interrupt.
carry on.
But I've been working from home since, well, before COVID. It didn't, that didn't really didn't affect me very much in my everyday life because I worked from home for at least for 5, 6 years.
Mhm.
So I think if I had been the kind of person who have to be like separate work and like fun more, then maybe that wouldn't have worked out so well. But I don't really have that problem. I love what I do. I love my work, but I don't have a problem. Just okay, now it's sewing time.
And for those who don't know, what area of work are you in?
I'm a programmer. Excuse me. I have a startup called Grammatify with my business partner. And we don't, there's just the two of us. So, or usually, sometimes we hire like freelancers, but mostly it's just the two of us. So we don't have an office. She just bought a farm that she
Oh,
lives on, and she has horses and stuff. So, and I live in like a suburb kind of close to Stockholm. Um, yeah, so that's where we are.
If there was anywhere else in the world you'd like to visit, where would you go?
Hmm. I'd like to go to Japan, I think. Um, Very cliche maybe, but I would love to see the cherry blossoms. I mean, looking at pictures of that is just like so gorgeous.
Mm,
Um, I think that if there are things like on my bucket list that I want to see, it's more sort of nature stuff than different cities.
mm,
I've been to a lot of places in Europe. I've lived in New York. I've done that. And yeah, so I want to see maybe like a coral reef, mountains and fields and flowers and stuff like that. I think, yeah, I think Japan is probably really beautiful. Have you been?
I have not been, but I've got a close friend who's been. I think they're going out again later this year. Um, yeah, it seems to be like the place people are going to at the moment is Japan. But yeah,
Okay.
cherry blossom. Yeah, I can see the
I mean, who wouldn't love that?
appeal.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
can get the timing right.
yeah. Um, I'm very much the same because I went to New York years ago for a holiday and I enjoyed it, but I also didn't. And I think now I realize I just need that nature for holidays. Like I like just adventuring around and getting to know a
Mm.
place, but have that cultural kind of knowledge of places. So when we're in Australia, um, especially when we did a little bike ride, um, there wasn't much information about where we're cycling. So it used to be a railway line, and they've converted it into like a cycling and walking path. And I wanted to know the history. In the UK, we're quite good at putting that kind of information out.
Right.
But there was nothing like just wanted a bit more. Uh, but it's still nice just to adventure around and do stuff and just. But
Yeah.
there wasn't enough green for me in Australia. It was quite orange and brown. There were bits of green, but Singapore was very green for a city.
Oh, yeah.
It was quite incredible how much green was there. But yeah, New York was too built up and
Yeah, New York is pretty gray, brown and gray.
yeah,
Definitely dirt,
it was
dirty.
very overwhelming.
Mm.
But I mean, culturally, you've got lots of stuff there. But
It has its perks, definitely.
yeah,
But I think going to a city, I think is great for maybe more like a weekend thing. But if you're gonna like really spend time somewhere, I want to either travel. I think the best travels that me and my husband have made is just like driving through Europe.
mm-hmm.
Um, we've had a few trips where we take one day to go from Stockholm to Malmö, and then we take the night ferry to Travemünde in Germany, which means like in, just 24 hours, you're in Germany. So it feels really, really quick. And you drive through the north of Germany, and then you start to sort of, I mean, you go kind of straight through there, and then in the south of Germany, which is so beautiful, you start to sort of go more like smaller roads, and we usually don't book anything. We just, except the ferry, you have to, and then we just use like an app, like a hotel booking app, and wherever we want to stay that night, we just book something then. That those have been like our best travels because then you can also stay longer if like you find a place that's really nice. I like that way of traveling.
Yeah, that's nice. Love it. Um, so have you got any small business shout outs you want to share with people?
Yes, I have a couple of Swedish ones. I hope you don't mind. It's the kind of the ones that make sense for me because I can't really buy stuff from the UK. I mean, I can, but it's just so expensive. So one of them is called Sissi och Selma. So Sissi and Selma, those are two like girls' names, and just O in the middle, Sissi och Selma. Um, Before I started sewing for myself, that was the place that I always went to if I wanted to get like a nice dress. They have like really nice retro pattern, like usually stretch fabric dresses. And they've actually started selling fabric as well,
Hmm.
that I'm pretty sure they designed themselves. So that one I really like. And then there's another one called Vintage in My Heart. And she sells fabric that I think she designs, and then also both vintage and like reproduced vintage patterns. And then also like mugs and stuff, little kitchen things. Those are the ones that I really like. I want them to do well.
Oh, amazing. I look forward to looking them up later, but I'll put links in the description so others can find it too. Um, Super. It has been lovely chatting to you, but time is getting away and we need to do the quick fire round, which is as quick
Right.
as you make it.
Go ahead.
uh, it's not timed, but people,
Good.
it's fine. People like to justify their choice, and that's fine.
I think
Uh,
that's human. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Are you ready?
Yes.
Woven or knit?
Woven.
Blue or green?
The blue and green and pink are my three favorite colors. I am wearing green, so I'm gonna say green. But I think I have more blue things that I've made. But I'm
Mm.
gonna say green.
Blue is a good base color, like black. That's how I think of it. Right.
Yeah. I don't own anything black, but yes, I
Yeah.
understand what you mean.
Plain or patterned?
Um, well, if I see something that sort of screams out to me, it's gonna be a pattern. It's not gonna be just one color.
Mm.
So I'm gonna say pattern.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Early bird or night owl?
I'm an early bird, definitely.
Knitting or crochet?
Um, I think crochet because it's kind of easier to rip it up and start over, like correct your mistakes, which I really can't do when I'm knitting. And I have yet to finish one knitting project without mistakes. I don't have anything that don't have any mistakes on it. And like going back and trying to like unpick it, who has the time? Like, it's just it's not worth it.
I mean, it's the first time that excuse has been used for why you pick crochet over knitting, but it's a good one. A good one. Train or aeroplane?
It was definitely more comfortable to travel on a train. I mean, you can walk about and you can look out the window and there's going to be something there except like clouds or just blue sky. However, I'm not taking the train to, I'm not
Japan.
taking the train to England, for example. But if we're just talking about like the time spent on the traveling sort of medium, then train.
Spots or stripes?
Stripes.
I've just been joined by the dog. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I saw a little
The
bit
little
of
tail.
tail.
Yeah. You gonna help? No. Tea or coffee?
Tea. I never learned to drink coffee because I feel like it's a flavor that you have to learn to like, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I agree.
I
Uh,
never I never learned to like coffee. I never learned to like beer either. And I
me,
would love to like beer because you see someone sitting in the sunshine like early spring and it looks so refreshing and
mm,
so nice. But it tastes like death.
yeah,
I don't like it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
I'd love to have a pint of whatever and enjoy it. I can't like I don't like cider. Like it sounds really refreshing. It's the right word for it, but nope. Blech. Perfect finish or life's too short.
Um, 8 times out of 10, life's too short. And then there will be these like one or two projects that I feel like, no, this is worth taking the time to make it perfect.
Mm,
But they're rare.
mm. That's not a solid one way or the other. It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Mostly life's too short.
Yeah. Uh, Cake or biscuits?
This is so British.
And you've pulled us up during sessions. What is your obsession with biscuits? I have to explain that.
You have so many different kinds of biscuits, and they all have names.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I love that. Okay, well, I'm gonna say biscuit.
Read a book or watch TV.
Uh, well, I'm gonna say audiobooks and YouTube. Those are like my media intakes and podcasts.
Other.
Yeah,
We've had neither and both before.
sorry.
Other. No. Zips or buttons.
If I have to choose, I'm gonna say zips. Not a fan of putting in buttons.
Text message or a phone call.
Text message. Unless it's my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sewing machine or hand sewing.
Mm. Sewing machine. I can't hand sew. Whenever there's a step in a pattern where you have to hand sew and they say what stitches, I always have to Google it or YouTube it and try to figure it out. Sewing machine.
And then this is the really British thing, cream first or jam first.
So, this you have to explain because first of all, I don't put cream and jam on anything. But are we talking like toast?
On a scone, which is essentially
It's
butter.
on a scone. Oh, okay, I know what a scone is. Okay. Okay. So this is all right.
Yeah, so in Cornwall and Devon, two of the southwest counties, they do it differently. So in Cornwall, you put the jam first, but in Devon, you put the cream first. So it's how you layer it up.
Okay.
And it's just a silly cultural thing.
So what's the consistency of the cream? Is like whipped cream?
It's like it's not quite whipped cream, it's a bit thicker, so it's more like butter, but a
Okay,
bit
so it's
fluffier.
spreadable. It's not like
Spreadable.
super fluffy.
No, it's not super fluffy. It's not too light. There's a density to it.
Okay, then I think I would put the cream first.
That is the correct Devon way. I agree.
Okay.
I believe that it should go first because it acts like a butter. So if you had toast, you'd put
Right.
butter, then jam.
And I think I would just like I don't like a lot of jam. I
Mm.
don't want to put like a big blob of jam in my mouth. That would make me sick. So I think I would just like dot
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
jam
yeah.
around a little
It
bit.
can be quite difficult if you put too much jam on, but
Yeah.
people do also.
Okay.
But yeah, you've chosen the right way, the sensible way.
Thanks.
Yeah. Not that I coerced you into that answer, but people think that it's easier to spread the cream on top of the jam, but I
I
don't.
feel like that would be sort of slip and slidey kind of
You'd be right.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we'll send you some clotted cream in with the package, and we'll come back
Lovely.
and find out your opinion on Jaffa cakes, Tim Tams, and Garibaldi's and all the other biscuits
Yes,
that
I'm
we
looking
love.
forward to that.
It's been lovely chatting to you this morning. Is Elsie there to say hello?
Yeah,
Do
just
you
a
want to
minute.
grab her? Moss has
Here
disappeared.
she is,
Hey,
part of the
Elsie.
show. She needs a haircut. There
Oh,
you go.
yes. Oh, it's always nice seeing her on a session pop up, even if she's in your way. But I think she was
Yeah.
one of our first regular dogs.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I think Misty must be.
Misty was the first regular dog, but I
Yeah,
don't think
she's
Elsie
really
was
cool.
too far behind. But
She's a sweetie.
she is. Super. Well, it's lovely to chat to you both this morning.
And to you.
And yeah, see you on a session soon.
Yes, we will.
Cool. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.